Hi everybody, it's Terry Ryder from hotspotting.com.au. Tonight I wanted to speak to you briefly about the Melbourne market. In the last week or so I've had quite a lot to say about a couple of markets that I think are going to be stronger than previous years next year, specifically the Perth market and the Adelaide market. But in terms of the markets that are pumping strongly right now, Melbourne's right up towards the top of the pack. Whereas Sydney is clearly wound down, as well past its peak, and the rate of price growth that's coming out of Sydney is much lower now than it has been over the last 3 to 4 years. Melbourne is still producing strong growth numbers, still growing in double digits according to most research sources. It's a market that, alongside Hobart, is competing for the title of the strongest capital city market in Australia right now. We've just published our new edition of Top 5 Melbourne Hotspots, looking ahead to 2015. And the feature of that report is that most of the locations that are featured in our Top 5 are now the affordable areas and the outer ring of Melbourne. Melbourne is a little bit behind Sydney in the cycle. Sydney started on its growth path first and Melbourne followed perhaps a year or so later. So Melbourne's still got a little bit more to run than Sydney. But like as often the case with major cities, it's very rare for the whole of the metropolitan area to be rising as one. The upcycle usually starts in the inner city suburbs and then it ripples out gradually over a period of, say, 3 years. So in Melbourne, we certainly saw that. Initially, say 3 years ago, it was the inner ring suburbs. Then a couple of years ago, it was what we call middle Melbourne, the middle ring suburbs, which were showing the strongest growth. But right now, the areas that are really pumping strongly are the affordable areas in the outer ring parts of the Melbourne metropolitan area. Those are the ones where we're seeing a high turnover of property, a high level of sales activity, and the strongest price growth that's now coming out of the Melbourne market. Areas like Wyndham City down in the far southwest, heading down towards Geelong, which features suburbs such as Hoppers Crossing, Tarneit, Point Cook, Wyndham Vale and Werribee. The turnover of property there right now is quite extraordinary, and it's all about affordability. This is one of the most affordable markets in the Melbourne metropolitan area. Also good infrastructure down there, good transport links back up to central Melbourne, and lots of major jobs nodes there as well. But mainly it's about affordability, and so this market's pumping strongly, and most of the suburbs down there have had median price growth in the last 12 months of 15 or more percent in the last 12 months. So you can read about that and the other regions that we think are going to be the strongest moving forward into 2018 in the Melbourne metropolitan area. Our Top 5 Melbourne Hotspots report is now available on the hotspotting.com.au website. That's it for now. Talk to you again soon.